this collection comes out of Virginia, and it was belonged to one person. His first name was Mike, and he was an engineer. He was a pilot. He had planes, helicopters, everything he flew himself. So he was really into everything to do with anything mechanical. He owned a huge warehouse where these cars were put, and he had a purpose of going around and getting the cars that he liked, but trying to get the best examples and the lowest miles of any example that he was after. His garage is impeccable. You can look the floor. It's all white marble. Somewhere that maintains the collection and the garage. You got a toolbox, basically the size of that 10 almost. You know, a snap-on box.
Yeah.
But he was really intent on perfection. But he bought a new car trailer to transport these cars around, and he wanted it wrapped. And he went to some wrap places, and he didn't like what they were saying, so he bought a complete wrapped computer, a cutter, everything, and he wrapped everything himself.
Wow.
Yeah. And he has a bucket truck that's got 300 miles on it, and everything just perfectly polished and waxed. So these cars represent what he did in collecting perfection.
We saw even he had like race cars and stuff inside, right?
Yeah,
like
so he's got a couple of Indy cars.
A wide variety of different cars.
Yep. We'll be selling his Corvette collection, which consists of about 28 Corvettes. That'll be going to Kissimmee.
How many total did he have?
That was about 47 or 48 cars.
Okay.
Yeah,
And he's just
altogether.
done maintaining them? Or?
No, he had passed.
Okay.
And so the cars went into a trust, and now we're selling them for that trust. Yeah, they reached out to me to help them do it.
They went to the best.
Well, thank you.
Bring the best in here.
That's great. And when I looked at the cars, I flew down to Washington, and I looked at the cars, and I said, you know, these are something I can work with.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we go and we look at some collections, and they're all sort of dodgy, you know, and iffy, and I don't
like,
want.
I'm not going to spend my time on this.
I don't want it to ruin my reputation, and I'm selling the cars that don't meet our standards.
Yeah.
And immediately when I looked at the cars, MECUM came to mind. So we love doing business with MECUM. Great organization, there's superb people that work here, and they're the same people. They've been working for years.
Which says a lot.
Yeah, so it's good. It's a family.
Yeah.
And so that's what I enjoy about it. And listen, I do business with all the other auction companies, but when I see certain cars, these type of cars, most anything else, but that's where we go. And I sometimes I make that decision based on the owner's preference. So we do interviews. You know, so I sold a Tupelo Automobile Museum collection, and we brought in 3 auction companies, and we made the lady that was in charge of the collection pick the auction.
Oh, wow.
So she picked, and it was my first choice anyways, but I didn't, we wrote down on a piece of paper, the guys, and we all picked the same auction company.
Okay.
So it works.
Yeah.
It works. So we've got Lamborghinis, of course, you know, this Diablo is fantastic. It's, you know, the removable roof. These are 5.7 liter, 12-cylinder engines. And this started something different. You know, Lamborghini was known for their angular cars with Bertone coachwork. And now we've got a more rounded car. Still giving great downforce, but quite different. And you'll see too that the engine is really long in the back compared to a Countach, and the cabin is forward, so your feet are basically over the front wheels. And it's a little different proportion for them, which carry through. Then we've got the 10-cylinder Lamborghini. That's basically the Gallardo. That's basically a Audi platform. So it's the shared engine and the all-wheel drive system of Audi, which is bar none the best in the world.
The Quattro.
Yeah, the Quattro system. So that's a great car. Those colors are just stunning. You know, years ago, you couldn't sell a car that was that green. You know, Chrysler had a tough time selling those cars.
Verde Ithaca?
Yeah, Verde Ithaca. And now that is so popular.
Yeah,
it's just
loud colors.
It's a loud color. It's a look at me color.
Even Porsche has gotten into that quite a bit.
That's right. You can drive down the street in that Countach that's black, and everybody's going to look at that car. They're not going to look at that Lamborghini. But it's a really spectacular car. The 10-cylinder engine is great, and with the green piping on the seats, really speaks.
You know what the mileage is on that
It's a
one?
very low mileage. I'm not sure, but I think it's 3,000 or 4,000 miles.
Okay. It looks like it's only got 3,000
Yeah.
or 4,000 miles on it.
We've got an 89 anniversary Countach, so this is the last year for the Lamborghini Countach, and you'll notice all the fins and all the cheese grater look that was going on with the Testarossa Ferraris of the period. Very period car. Of course, people look at this car and they see it in white and red, and Don Johnson comes to mind, Miami Vice. This is the car, that they drove as well as the Testarossa. And of course the Daytona Spider, which wasn't really a Daytona Spider, it was a McBurney copy of a Daytona with a V8 in it. But these were cars that were on posters in every kid's bedroom that are maybe 40 years old now. That was the car that they looked at.
I had a poster.
Yeah, you had a poster of it, and that was your dream.
Yep.
You dreamt of that car.
Mine had that California Highway Patrol logo on it.
Yeah.
That's the black and white one. I have that same poster now in my garage. But yeah.
These are kind of a unique and unusual cars because they were made for speed. Valentino Balboni was a test driver for Lamborghini, and he test drove every one of these cars himself.
Tough job.
Yeah, he's a great friend of mine, and I cherish his friendship because he's just so down to earth. And I always remember that interview on 60 Minutes Morley Safer did with him, and he scared Morley Safer to death.
Yeah.
And supposedly that Countach really means holy shit. But these are kind of difficult to drive sometimes because first off, your window, this is power window, but the window only goes down, so only there just so you can pass the toll money out the window. That's it.
You're not getting your coffee through there.
You're not going to go to Starbucks with this and get a large frap or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then it's also a little difficult to back up, so you have to have a little knowledge of how to do that. Because you can't see out the back, you're looking around, the mirrors don't work. So this is what I do. I get in the car, and I'll be driving, and then I get out like this. And I put my ass right there, and I ride the clutch, and I look behind me, until I back the car.
And that clutch is a racing clutch too. It's pretty stiff.
It is, but you know what? The disc is only about that big.
Oh, okay.
We got one in the shop right now that we're doing a clutch on. The guy just rode the clutch and burned it up. And of course, the scissor doors, which were the Lamborghini, seemed to be the first one that had that type of system.
Yeah.
And it stuck with it.
And these are both 25th, so.
That's right. So that one there, so Mike bought this one first. It's got about 20,000 miles on it. That car has 1,000 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like the ultimate anniversary car, black, 1,000 miles on it, and so I think that's going to knock it out of the park.
For sure. Yeah.
Did he take his cars out and actually drive them at different times?
Not
or?
very much. So the black Countach was in his office. So he had a very cool office with all screens of cameras everywhere around the shop and everywhere around the building. And he sat in his office where we were able to see those screens. And on the second floor, there was the Lamborghini over here, sitting there, so he could see that. All he had to do was look up at it.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the cars, some were upstairs, some were downstairs. So he had a two-level storage facility. Yeah, it was quite the place, that's for sure. But this is the Lamborghinis. I think that the Countach is really the star of the show here.
Yeah.
But yet, a little bit of everything. So we got a 360 Spider over here. That's a fantastic car. Those colors, really great. To me, that speaks California.
Yeah.
Nice bright blue with a cream interior. The next Ferrari is the 575. So I think the 575 was for a front-engine 12-cylinder car. That was the peak.
Is that gated manual, that one?
That's a gated manual. No, that's the paddle shift. We have a 550, but it's not here. Not selling that car yet. But that's the paddle shift car. That I can't remember the miles, but it's very low. It's like 150 miles. Something like that. Yeah. So that's a real collectible car. It got yellow calipers, and the Daytonas were really great cars of the era, but they drove like a truck. If you went out in Daytona, steered. If you drove it for an hour and a half, you felt like you were in a boxing match with Mike Tyson. Everything hurts. But with these cars, it's just so enjoyable. That car's built to go 180 miles an hour all day long. which was the speed of original Daytona. So Daytona won the Cannonball race years ago with Brock Yates and Dan Gurney driving, and they averaged like 160 miles an hour, average.
Wow.
Across the country. They were doing 185 miles an hour sometimes for an hour and a half. Wow. Out in the desert of California. So, I mean, those were really, in the day, that was the fastest car out of the box. It would do 180 miles an hour out of the box. You didn't have to do any modifications.
Yeah.
And 550 started, and then the 575 was the ultimate.
Yeah.
So you got red, red, black, this is the car as far as front end.
The 328 GTI.
Lightning PI.
328, so that's an 88, 328. Those cars are really climbing in value lately. I had one, I sold it, it had 3,000 miles on it. I sold it for like $140,000 2 years ago. Now I wish I still had it.
Yeah.
But that is a base car, so 308s seem to be rising, 328s. That car, we just serviced that car, so it's had a full service, so it's ready to go. A lot of these cars, they sit in that Bosch fuel injection pump unit, freezes up, it gums up.
I have an 80 Hyundai L3 too, so I know
Okay.
exactly what you're talking
So
about.
we just sent it out to this Dynaflow place down in Florida, and they said, oh, it's 12 to 14 weeks to get it back. But for $1,500, you could have extra. You could have it back in 3 days.
Very
I
slick.
said, why is that? Well, we'll put one of our guys on it, and there's overtime involved. And I said, just do it.
Yeah.
So it came just in time, and we got it on the truck.
Awesome.
So that's a really great car. The Pantera is yellow Pantera with those chrome wheels.
Oh, that chrome wheels is just,
Yeah,
we
it
were
makes
looking
that car
at it
pop.
earlier when we were talking about
It
it.
makes that car pop.
Beautiful.
And of course, we've got a 351 Cleveland in the back. Come on, we'll take a look.
Is it chromed?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
You took the thunder away.
Not all of them are.
Wayne, when did the body kits and the different?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry?
When did the body kits and the different trim levels start coming
Well, I
about
mean,
a
so
little bit later?
these things, they sold these cars through Mercury dealers, Lincoln Mercury dealers. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking about. They're a Lincoln Mercury dealer, and so the performance guys were going in and buying Mustangs, and now they're selling these, and basically the hot rod guys didn't know about these cars, But the 351 Cleveland was a great engine. We're doing Di Tommaso Mangustas right now. We just did one. Now we're doing two more, and they had 289s in them and then 302s.
How are they hard to get parts for, or are they?
The
they have
engines?
Yeah.
No, it's just a regular Ford engine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a regular Ford 302. This is a 351 Cleveland, but this is a ZF gearbox in the back, so that's the where we can move the motor up and make it a mid-engine car for handling.
For the weight.
Yep. So, but it works really well. These are, again, great cars. Now, normally this has a big tub in here that covers all of this. You can't see the engine at all.
What fun is that?
Yeah. So everybody takes that tub out, and throws it away.
Yeah.
Wish we had them.
So has this one been restored, or is this all
Yeah.
original?
So no, Mike bought this. It's been restored. So it had been fully restored. I think he bought this at a MECUM auction. I think.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's all polished and chromed, and of course, you open it up and everybody goes, ooh, But they're loud, not too much insulation, and when you're driving them, it's hot, it's loud, but it's cool.
That's the fun. That's the fun of it.
That's the fun, that's for
You
sure.
could get the Ford GT if you want something quiet and smooth.
So come on, we'll look at this Ford GT. Now, a lot of the Ford GTs were bought and put away as investments. This was one of them. I like this. So the sound system is something. The original one I bought had the sound system in it with a big Bose speaker.
The Macintosh.
And I'm very claustrophobic, and when that thing was in there, I couldn't even drive the car. It was so enclosing because of that. But that doesn't have. That's the only option this car doesn't have. And this car has 71 miles on
Stripes,
it.
the wheels.
71 miles.
Wow.
So for the next owner, they can have one. So this would probably be a car that would be bought. There's actually a Gulf colored one inside the glass building over there, and that's got like 250 miles or something like that on it. But these cars could be a guy that's got a collection of these, and this is one of the ones he just wants to put away.
Have all colors.
Yeah. it's something when you buy a low mileage car. Now I bought a Shelby GT350R, the new one's in
Good one.
2020,
Yeah.
and it's got 6 miles on it. And it's up, I had a lift, and it's up on the top of the lift. And people say, why? I said, well, it's my grandson's car. I gave it to him. He's 9 years old. It's like fine wine. As long as you maintain it, start it all the time, maintain the fuel, it'll be great.
Yeah.
And the price of those cars will rise.
What color is that one?
Black. Yeah, it's a black metallic with the
Stripes.
black stripes, but with a red accent. So so it's flat black stripes and a red accent.
That's cool.
Yeah, we see
carbon fiber wheels and
we
spoilers.
see a Heritage GT350 2020 that comes pretty much every month to the show.
Yeah.
And he's driving that, and he's had it over a year, and it's a great car. That thing just super
There's
fast.
one I just saw for Bonhams, and that's the new Ford GT, and it's the race version. It's the Series 2 Mark II, but they're only race cars. You can't register, you
Not
can't
street
drive on the
legal.
street, and that hurts the value because if somebody can't
Limited
use
purpose.
it,
Yeah.
and it's so nice, it's got like 4 miles on it, so it's so nice. What are you gonna do? Take it out, track it, beat the shit out of it? I guess you could.
Yeah.
So
So
they're
we
not
got
fully
this
covered to be
beautiful
licensed.
E-Type over here. The restoration on this car is really impeccable.
Yeah.
Oh, this is stunning.
So this is last year. This is a Series 1 car, so it's got covered headlights, tall taillights on it, small bumpers, and this is opalescent gray. Just a beautiful color combination with that nice burgundy interior, red burgundy interior. And these are really climbed in value. Now they're sort of leveled off a bit, but to find one restored to this condition, it's tough to find, and it's all correct. I mean, I went through this car. It's absolutely beautiful.
The 3 wipers are interesting.
3 wipers because you had a small, short windshield.
Yeah.
And they felt
They had to reach the whole
speed,
thing.
too. These cars were due 130 and in speed.
I don't know that I've ever noticed the 3 wipers on them.
That was a British thing. MGBs had them.
Yeah.
Some MGBs. So yeah, it was sort of a
Got
British
the
thing.
opposite when some of the Mercedes have the 1 wiper.
That's right. Yeah. But this is a really highly restored car, restored to perfection. Everything is correct. All the colors are correct. The colors of the shock absorbers. Just everything is perfect. So this is going to be a good buy for somebody.
The Mike's collection, is it running on a specific day? Do they run
They'll
together?
be, so
or
these
is it-
cars will be sold this coming Saturday at noon. We're going to start, and then
Do they run consecutively?
they will run consecutively. I've asked Frank to do that because I have a seminar I have to do over at Pebble Beach at 3 p.m. I have
Okay.
to get through the traffic to get to the seminar.
They need to get you a helicopter.
Well, that'd be nice.
Or
Or
a
one of those
doppelganger.
drones, those new drones.
Pick you up and take you over there.
Zoom,
Yeah.
And then the last car, this is a 12-cylinder car, so you can see how they evolved and how the standards evolved over the years for bumper standards, emission standards. And so the bumper raised up, you put the taillights underneath instead of up here. It sort of started to lose its identity a bit. But still a real fabulous car. This car's got the factory hardtop. Yeah, that's what they are. So this is British Racing Green with biscuit interior. So now you can see all the plumbing. That's a pretty simple looking engine, but now we have all the plumbing to do with emissions, everything. So basically this is like 2 6-cylinder cars. But it really worked. Smooth power, very, very smooth.
So is the other one a 6 or are they both
6
12s?
cylinders.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 cylinders.
And then I noticed the funky bumpers. So this must be a U.S. spec car?
Yes, it is.
For
Yep.
the crash
Yep.
testing?
Yep.
Yeah.
So in 73, in 74 was about it. Everything Jaguar said we're not going to make all these standards, crash standards in the side and all that
Like,
stuff.
forget about those Americans.
So they stopped production. But British Racing Green, biscuit interior, smooth running 12-cylinder. These are really great collectibles now because I think they're going to really rise in value. They're really sluggish a little bit.
Yeah.
But because they are a beautiful car, great car. And we get a lot of people that want us to take the bumpers off. I said, that's sort of losing its identity. Live with it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I was wondering, is there a stop so the it actually doesn't hit the ground, or
Yes.
does it actually hit the ground?
No, it doesn't hit the ground. There's a strut in there.
Okay,
that stops
I
it.
always wondered about that. Yeah.
What we do, just to be careful, if we're someplace like in the shop, we put a rubber pad
Yeah.
underneath the front, just in case. So that's Mike's collection.
Quite a collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other cars, is this the first cars of his that you're selling?
Yes, well, we got some Corvettes coming up, and then we've got a few more Ferraris. I'm not sure how we're going to handle those.
Maybe different auctions or
Different.
online?
It
or
could be. The person's in charge of the trust wanted to try bringing some to auction first before we commit to the Corvettes going down to Kissimmee. And the Corvettes are later model Corvettes, nothing really special.
But that's probably a good spot for them, that Kissimmee
It's the
auction.
best. No reserve Kissimmee. They'll do really well.
Yep, that's the
You know.
audience.
That's right. And
Because of Florida?
but no, Kissimmee. So a lot of dealers go there in the spring, and so a lot of cars will sell to dealers as well as collectors.
And their big one's January, right? The
Right.
big, like
But
4,000 cars.
If you take a big collection like of Corvettes down there, and if you say this one is worth, and you look at it, and then you average them out as to what it is, at the end of the day, everything works out. Someone's going to sell for less, someone's going to sell for a little bit more,
Right.
but if you average them out,
Average out.
yeah.
Exactly.
People say to me, I'll sometimes take cars to auction and on the TV show and say, "Oh my God, how did you show that you didn't sell that car? You lost money." I said, "Yeah, but I made money on that one, that one, and that one, but I lost on these two. I'm
The
okay."
balance.
Yeah. You go in, you average it out. At the end of the day, you walk away with a number that you're happy with. That's what it's all about.
I like that about your show. After the auction, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier.
Listen, it is what it is. Sometimes it wasn't that way. We maybe didn't show it.
Yeah, when he's cussing and yelling out of there, that doesn't make the cut.
Yeah,
Well, they wanted to interview me afterwards, and I go, "I can't do it right now. I got to collect myself." Some of those days they do happen, but on the
I
average.
miss your show.
Oh, thank you.
You
We've
got
got-
new stuff coming up, though,
We
right?
do,
You
yeah.
guys
So,
got a network.
so we started our own network, Speed Vision.
Okay.
So Bob Scanlon was the president of Velocity Channel, and when Motor Trend took it over, Bob retired. And I told him I knew he wasn't going to retire, so he called me one day and he said, "How would you like to own Speed Vision with me?" And so Speed Vision was the original automotive programming.
Yeah, it changed names.
And then it changed names when Fox bought it to Speed, and then Fox Sports.
Right.
And so we found that during COVID, no one had copyrighted the name Speed Vision. They missed out on the
Let it
time
go.
period. They let it go. They weren't in the office getting those letters
Yeah.
from the copyright that you need to take care of
Renew,
this.
renew.
And nobody took care of it, so we grabbed it.
Good for you.
And so now we've got a good group of people, some retired people from Discovery are all our partners, and we're moving forward, doing really well. But right now, streaming is the future of television. I still believe myself, I'm 72 years old, I'm a television watcher. I'm not going to go online to watch something. And people say, "Well, you can watch it anytime you want." I said, "Yeah, but you know what? If I know that, I said, I'll watch that tomorrow." But if I know I got to be in front of the TV at 9 o'clock to watch something on a Tuesday, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
There's a synergy knowing that other people are watching at the same time.
that's true too.
You know what I'm saying? There's a
Yeah, that's true. But our show was on 18 years. We did 218 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, you did.
We're in over 100 countries. The show is seen in, and my voice is dubbed in 38 languages. I think we did okay.
So you're
That's
I
awesome.
think we did okay. Now I couldn't come to a contract agreement with Discovery, so we parted ways, and now I'm on this new mission. We've got a couple of new TV show ideas. We're filming one show. Matt is my producer of that, and we're doing a show on auctions where we analyze car auctions called The Classic Bid. I do a podcast with Jay Ward from Pixar Studios, talking classic cars. And we're doing a new show called On the Road with Wayne Carini, where we go out and we talk to people about their collections, how they get into the hobby. And the show, I don't want it to be about me, I want it to be about the people. You ever see On the Road with Charles Corral? Anybody see that?
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
That's years ago.
Just,
60s.
Yep,
Yeah.
just go out and talk to people.
Yeah, exactly.
Find out who they are.
Right.
So we're about to go to Nebraska and film with a guy that is a cattle rancher, and he wants to have me restore his Porsche. I said, "Well, I'll go out and look at it." He says, "Well, you're going to work with me on the farm for a day when you're here, so we're going to film that." You know, going out and feed the cattle and that stuff. But just some guy that collects cars, and this is what he does for a living.
The conversation probably during those times.
That's the best
car
time.
conversation.
That's the best time.
Yeah.
You know, and I find sometimes when we record stuff, some of the best times are when you're in a car just talking, just BSing.
Yeah, just spontaneous.
That's all. You're just talking. It happens. Now, when we're showing reruns of different shows.
I see.
Legends of Motorsports with Alan DeCadenet.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
just bought that library. So we've got that kind of stuff.
Okay.
We're talking right now to the Isle of Man TT people, and we're going to hopefully be broadcasting old Isle of Man races.
Crazy stuff.
So that's cool.
Very nice.
We want to do rally racing. We want to do things that, you know, building custom cars and all that stuff is sort of cookie cutter. We want to get out of that realm. And I think Chasing Classic Cars was a show that was a little bit different than everybody else's, and that's one of the reasons it really took off. At one time, between Wheeler Dealers and us, we were 1-2 all over the world constantly for weeks and weeks and weeks. He'd be number one, and
Yeah, that was the
It was
difference
just,
for us.
you
It wasn't
purchased
the
a car, You
nonsense.
stored it, you sold it at auction.
well, when I was approached to do the show, and it was an article in the New York Times written about me, and my head of my production company read that article about me buying a Hudson Italia, and he called me on Monday morning after reading the article on Sunday and said, I want to do a TV show about you. And I go, who are you? Well, I'm a guy, and I do some stuff for Discovery. Can I come up and talk to you? Now, he was a half an hour away, drove up, and within an hour from his first phone call, we started filming. I said, I'm not an actor, I don't know. He said, just be yourself. I'm going to follow you around with a camera. Just be yourself. And that's what happened.
Worked out well.
Did you bring anything to the auction? We've got this group here, and then I've got a car over at Broad Arrow. I got a 300 SL over there. And then I came to buy no cars, and all of a sudden 7 are on my radar.
Some nice cars at Broad Arrow. We were there yesterday, Jeremy and I.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Really great stuff. Everybody's got great
Yeah.
cars.
Now, do you have a lemon this year too? I mean,
We're going to Lemons, so we're going to go to Doty's
Lemon?
on Saturday morning. We go
Doty's,
to Toasties at 7 a.m. We have breakfast. We go to Doty's at 9.
Doty's to pick up the
Pick
your,
up the
your
car,
gem.
drive it to Lemons by 10.
Do you know what you're driving?
I don't. That's
No.
the key.
You just look around the lot.
nice.
Like,
No, Doty picks the car up.
Okay.
That happened because we wanted to show that anybody could bring a car to a car show. Anybody. So I went on Craigslist and started finding cars, and we couldn't find a car that really fit. So we're at Whole Foods having lunch, and all of a sudden I said, I got it. Jump in the car. They said, where are we going? I said, I'll tell you when to start rolling the cameras. I pulled into Doty's lot and I said, start rolling right now. And I'd not talked to him, never met him before. And he had a Volvo P1800 with a top cut off in the front. It was like a Targa, and it looked like an angry wolf had eaten the interior. It was so bad. And I said, does that car run, sir? He says, yes. I said, I'd like to rent it for a day. I'll give you $100 to rent it for a day. He says, I can't take $100. 99. And we had not set this up. He just went along with it. And since that, we've become very good friends.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think the one last year had like 2 petrified squirrels in it or something.
That was the year before. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
was that
I remember that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
great.
possum. It was living in the headliner. Of the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just died there and petrified.
It's been like 20
That's what we
years.
like. And he won worst in show.
That's what you wanted, though, at
Wanna
that
be-
show,
we
right?
do.
That's
We do.
the award.
They've been doing a lot of Porsches. Him and his son. His son puts out some good content.
So
does.
Doty's
I
sort of
see him on
retiring right
TikTok.
now, and his
Yeah.
son's taking over, and he's doing a really great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love following
Yeah,
them.
I'm part of their family now. So,
very
you know,
nice.
I know the kids. I've watched them grow up. It's really great. Cars are great. You get to meet so many great people, enjoy each other's company, and just have something in common.
Are you coming to Works reunion tomorrow?
I won't. No, tomorrow I'm going to the Quail. So it'll be the Quail and then Bonham's Auction.
Tough choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm showing a car, an MG at the Quail tomorrow. So, then we'll be here Saturday for the auction. And then I have my seminar I got to do at 3. So we're bouncing constantly.
Nice.
But it gets old after a while.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Well, it's nice to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. What doesn't get old is being in Monterey.
No.
Oh
how could
my
you-
God!
I mean, look at
Listen to this place.
Got a
Look at
cloud in
this.
the sky.
Oh, and we have
Temperature's right.
we had the good marine layers. You can breathe the
At
air in the
night,
morning,
at night,
and then it clears up for this. This is just
And then you
spectacular.
have, I mean, who has not been to a MECUM auction before? Anybody? Nobody? Y'all been? I mean, it's an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But the first time in Monterey, this is the place right here.
You know, they do such a good job. They've got a system. They've got great people, from the girls in the office taking the paperwork to Frank MECUM, to all the guys that park the cars. They're just a great team.
Yeah.
And they travel all around the country, so they have to get along because they're spending a lot of time.
Yeah, it's pretty seamless, this operation.
It is.
I never see anything really go wrong, and whatever it does, it gets resolved very quickly.
When we started filming with Dana, I asked him, I said, could you have the music turned down? He said, not my job. I said, who would I call? He said, I don't know.
That's called not micromanaging, right?
He's got good people. He says, you'll find somebody, they'll help you out.
I know. I thought maybe this morning I might see as the concourse cars rolled out, I might see in the back of one waving, but I didn't see
You know,
it.
we went to watch it, and we got there kind of late at 7 a.m., and the parking lot was full. They were shuttling people from like 2 miles away.
I was in the pit. I had to go park in the pit, and they took the shuttle bus
So
over.
Matt was with me, another friend Dick, and I said, Toasties for breakfast looks really good right now. So this is my 47th year here. That makes me about 15 years old. But I started coming here as a teenager. My uncle lived on 17 Mile Drive, and so we would come here. But this year is my 40th straight coming here. I have not missed a year in 40 years. Other than COVID, last year would have been my 40th, so I had to come this year because of that.
I grew up in Carmel, so I remember when it was kind of car weekend.
Yeah.
Because it was known as the Historics, which is now the Reunion, and then of course you had the Concourse, and then you would see some cars pile in like Thursday night, a little bit on Friday, but then Saturday and Sunday you would see all the Ferraris and the other cars that would come
on
in.
Thursday, we'd play golf on Friday, we go to the track on Saturday,
Yeah.
go to the show on Sunday, and go to San Francisco and get the red eye home.
Yeah.
That was it for years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this monster grew.
Now it's car week,
Yeah.
or even longer than
It's
a
longer
week.
in a
It's like
week.
almost
Yeah.
like 10
When
days.
we
Should
were
be 2
filming
weeks.
here, we would come for 11 to 12 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I stopped my show, I was on the road on an average of 190 days a year. It's too much.
Yeah.
Too many hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Too many restaurants. Too many airports.
Too much pulling trailers. It was a local buy.
So we broke it down a little bit. The new shows will be probably 6 to 8 episodes a year. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to be home and see my grandchildren grow up.
There you go. That's
good.
Well, thanks everybody for attending.
Yeah, thanks for making time. Nice
Yeah,
stories.
thanks.
Appreciate it.
See ya.
Good to see you too. Thank you.